Oh, caught me in the middle of the water bottle. I need
Oh,
to do this so I don't cough anymore.
cough away, cough away. How's everybody doing today? How you doing?
I'm doing great, man. How about you? How's
Doing
your
all
night
right.
going?
It's going.
Ready to talk about some movie news. It's
Yeah.
been a while. I feel like we haven't gone live, man, in well over 13 days for the regular show that we do, this show. So I'm
Right.
excited. There's a lot to talk about.
Lots.
Uh I kind of narrowed it down, so there is a lot, but we have bigger topics. So we'll spend a bit of time talking about those and diving into them. And then, yeah, let's just get down right into it. We'll start off with the box office, as always. Now, we missed the week before that, and that was Black Adam. And Black Adam was number one at the box office,
Right.
made close to $70 million. One of the biggest opening weekends for Dwayne Johnson, for sure. And then we also had Ticket to Paradise coming out, which also did very, very well. Well, this is week two now, and we have Black Adam still holding on to that number one spot. Ticket to Paradise holding on to that number two spot, only dropping, uh, man, I think like 30%, something like that, something crazy. But it's doing very well, Ticket to Paradise. And Black Adam dropped over 55, 60% around there. And then we also have Pray for the Devil, which came in at the third spot, which I know you've seen, I did not see. And then we had Smile at the number four spot, just crossed $200 million, I believe. Smile's a huge hit. It's doing very well for itself.
Right.
And then we had Halloween Ends narrowing out the number five, which I'm shocked by because I know it's dropping and dropping fast because of Peacock and the word of mouth. So, what speaks out to you, man? What really stands out for you here in the top five?
Um, as a romantic comedy fan, Tickets to Paradise. I know it's two older, actors with Julia Roberts and what's his face, George Clooney.
George Clooney.
But I think this year, as much as we've talked about how it's the year for horror, I think it's also the year of the romantic comedy because you have Tickets to Paradise, you had the Sandra Bullock one earlier that we saw, um, the Marry Me and all this other stuff. So I think horror and romantic comedy mixed in with some superheroes, and you have some success at the box office this year.
Right. Yeah, I think Ticket to Paradise was fun. I had a chance to see it when it came out. Me and Victoria went, and the theater's packed. The audience loved it. It's a fairly safe and serviceable romantic comedy. It's one that you've seen before, but Julia Roberts and George Clooney make it so likable. So does the rest of the cast too. It's just a feel good movie. It's the perfect antidote for what's happening right now with big budget superhero affair. Well, here's the answer: you could see a smaller romantic comedy in theaters. So I think that's cool, and it's really good too. So
Right.
uh, I'm shocked that it's holding on as well as it is, but Lost City at the beginning of the year did very well and had solid legs as too. So it just goes to show you can't grow movie stars on trees. George Clooney and Sandra Bullock and Julia Roberts here, they still put butts in seats, and Brad Pitt too, which we mentioned a lot. So I'm
They
happy
do.
about that. Bernie, what's up, man? How's it going? So nothing else really sticks out to me. I'm happy for Smile because Smile has been cleaning up and the
It
word of
has been.
mouth has been so good and people telling other people that they got to go out and see it. So I am excited that Smile is doing very, very well.
And unfortunately, Pray for the Devil is not. That was on my most anticipated for the year, and it was such a letdown. So, but it was Halloween weekend, right? So horrors took the top, in the top five. So,
Right. Right. Yeah, so I mean that's really it, man. That's Halloween weekend. I mean, the horror movies, I mean, it's cool that like 3 out of the 5 are horror. Pray for the Devil and Smile and Halloween. So horror has been putting butts in seats and it's been killing. And that brings us to our first story of the day,
yeah,
which I'm excited about.
for
Uh
sure.
so let me go ahead and pull that up, and that is this. Crystal Lake is coming to Peacock with a full season order. It's going to be show run by Brian Fuller, who did Hannibal, which had 3 seasons and I know has a huge fan base and following. Crystal Lake will dive into the early years of Pamela and Jason and will serve as partly a prequel and remake. Uh, that's what we know so far. A couple of other things that Brian Fuller has dropped is they can use all forms of Friday the 13th media, Jason in all of his glory, uh, and multiple kills per episode with 5 times the budget that they were able to use on Hannibal as well. So I mean, this is a show that Peacock was very excited about. It was in the middle of a battle, a bidding war, with multiple streamers. I know Netflix was involved in there and a couple other ones. I'm guessing Paramount Plus because of uh, Crystal Lake or Jason and Paramount Plus. So I don't know. I think this is great news, man. This has really hyped up the horror community. Me and you talked a little bit about it the other night.
We did.
I think. Oh, and A24 is involved in this too. I forgot to mention.
That's
A24
what
is
gets me
producing the show.
that's what gets me so hard was in that A24.
Yeah, A24 is involved. I mean, why wouldn't they want to be, right? Like
Right.
they haven't had a chance at any of these big icons. And it's not because I think a lot of people would think, "Oh, A24 only makes artsy kind of movies." I don't think it's that. I think it's that they know they can make money off things that are original and help original filmmakers. They probably never
Right.
thought they would get their hands on something like this, and now they have.
Yeah. I mean, I listen, I don't think any studio out there would be in a position to be like, oh hey, we have a chance at Jason, but you know what? That's not in our wheelhouse. We're artsy fartsy studio. Let's not take care of Jason. Let's not do Jason. Like no studio in their right mind would say that, right? And for A24 to come across this and it be the studio that's going to bring this together, we've always talked about, and everybody's always talked about, what if A24 got their hands on Freddy or Jason or Chucky, whatever? Here we go. Now's our
Right? It's
chance.
happening.
It's
Yeah.
happening. The great thing about this is that they're able to use all of the Jasons that they want to use because it is a TV show. Based on the way that the lawsuit went, if it was a movie, they couldn't use anything. And because they
Right.
decided, hey, let's do a TV show, full rights to everything.
Yeah, no, exactly. This is great for fans because you're getting everything that you want out of Friday the 13th. Of course, we aren't going to get a big theatrical release, which is a bummer. I would love to see a Friday the 13th movie in theaters, a new one. Um and it's going to suck for newer fans that didn't get a chance to see the '09 one. That you're going to have to wait even longer, which they do say in the press release like this doesn't affect the films. You got to wait a long time for the films. But what we can do is give you something of quality on the television screen every single week with
Right,
Peacock, who I want to know what this pitch was because we don't know much about it. But what we do know is that Peacock and other streamers, their socks were blown off, and Peacock fought to get a full season order. They not only promised a full season order, they also pretty much promised a season two. So this is a show that's a go. I wouldn't be shocked if we hear casting news very, very soon. Writers' room, all those TV things move fast, especially on these like Peacock and Netflix. They move very, very quickly. So I am excited. I'm excited where it can go. I think we can't look at other shows like Bates Motel or even Hannibal because those shows were a bit attached to having some sort of restrictions. And this is the first time. Well, Chucky too. Chucky doesn't really have any restrictions on TV
no,
because it's sci-fi and it's their collaboration with Peacock, and they're able to do a bunch of things. Here, it's straight up streaming. They've been given the go that they can do creatively whatever they want, bloody as hell. I think that's very exciting, and I think Friday the 13th through fandom and the different filmmakers have created their own sort of mythology. So I'm down to see a young Pamela and her descent into madness, and then we pass it to Jason and then his father as well.
yeah, hopefully we see the father now. um oh man, I had a good train of thought going on here, but never never mind you on. Oh no, here we go. So I feel like if Peacock was right, and obviously they want to do the streaming, right? But to satisfy the hunger for Jason on the big screen, what Peacock could do is sort of do like a Fandango route, or do like AMC could link up with an AMC Cinemark, what have you, and have like a discount Saturday, for example, $5 ticket, right? And you could sit there and watch. the hour-long episodes of Friday the 13th at the movie theaters for like $5. I mean, you could imagine, right? It's going to be on Peacock. It has to be 45 minutes to an hour long,
Probably around there, I would say.
right?
Yeah.
I mean, that's a short ass. You could say that's a short ass movie. Um, $5. I mean, would you go watch Friday the 13th, an episode of Friday the 13th on the big screen for an hour for $5?
I mean, sure. I think this is a model that we've seen before, with like Game of Thrones, House of the Dragon, putting the first episode or first two episodes up on the big screen,
Right.
to give fans a chance to go see what that would be like. I think that would be cool. I think that's a cool idea.
Marvel did it for Inhumans, that suck ass show.
They did, yeah, they did do it for Inhumans a few years ago. The show that they'd like to forget about. Um, I'm down for this, man. I'm down for whatever it is that they have cooking up with Jason Voorhees. Um, I'm not sure who they can cast in it or what they're planning on doing, but just the idea that it's A24 and Brian Fuller, I think they have some really good people involved that want to see this just
Right.
be really promising, and deliver the goods. And I think people should be happy. I mean, this is going to be a really cool, at the very least, interesting show.
Well, I guess I could just break some news here and just say that I'm going to be playing Jason. They tapped me on the shoulder and be like, "Yo, Gabe, you want
Right.
to play Jason?" I was like, "Let's do this. We got a brown Jason coming."
It's true. Um, well, that was Friday the 13th. Crystal Lake. That's the name of the show. It's coming. I don't know when it's coming. I'm assuming next year, maybe the year after, 2025, 2024. Who knows?
See,
But
Bernie's asking who would be cast to play a young Pamela.
man, I think you go with, you can't get a star in there. It's not going to happen. But you go with somebody who has proven to be a good character TV actor. Some I have no name off the top of my head right now, but see, what I don't like about fan castings is they go for the most obvious choice. Like there's people that'll like, they'll go like, oh, Meryl Streep or something that like isn't even remotely possible. But I mean, thinking of actors on shows like Severance or anything on HBO and Game of Thrones, like you could get anybody really. Any of the guys from any of the ladies for the HBO shows would be perfect for this. Somebody that's just a seasoned character actor that can do great in this. I mean, who knows? I mean, Vera Farmiga played Norman's mom. They managed to get her for that. So who knows who they can get? Maybe they can get a little bit of star power in here. I know the obvious answer, I think, for a lot of people would be Tony Collette, which is why I would not want that, because
But if
I
you're gonna
think
do a
that's too
young
obvious.
Pamela, I think Toni Collette, as much as I really like her, I think she's a little bit too old to
She's younger
play.
than Betsy Palmer.
But you're talking about a young Pamela, right? So what's a young
I
Pamela
think,
with
to
a
me,
J?
young Pamela with Jason is probably months prior to the events of him being killed.
Right.
To me, that's what I'm thinking. Months prior to those events.
So what? Jason was what, 9, 10 years old when he died?
I would still say Pamela's got to be at least 50. Because then you're waiting a long ass time to get to the Jason stuff. You're waiting a long ass time, and I don't think anybody wants to wait that long.
I
I think
I
you want to
understand that.
see, you
But
want to
here's
see mythologically, you want to
well,
see supernatural Jason. I think by at least season 2 or
what
3.
what I'm talking about is like his age, right? So if you have what, I tend to say Jason was 10 when he died, right? When he
Right.
drowned. Um, if you're talking about Pamela being 50, she had Jason when she was 40.
I mean, hey,
So
I'm
we're
going off. Betsy Palmer was how old in that first movie? I mean, she looked old as shit in that movie.
I
She was
don't
not. She was
know.
not 30 years old.
That's what I'm saying. Is you're gonna do a young Pamela? What is it? You gotta
Okay,
cast somebody.
Betsy Palmer, she died in. Okay, so she died in 2015. She was born in 1926. That movie came out in 1980.
26 and 80. She was 54.
54. So I say get somebody 49 or 50. I mean, you can't go too young with it, because then you're going way too far back. I think if they're doing the way he worded this show was, he said it's a pre-make. That, to me, that says that you're telling a little bit of the story beforehand and also remaking the first movie. That's what I'm getting out of it. So I think if you're going off of that, you got to get somebody who's in their 50s, unless they're redoing the mythology. Then yeah, of course, get somebody younger. But 30s would be too young. I think late 40s, early 50s would be perfect for that character.
That makes sense.
I think that would probably make the most sense if they're going that route, because I don't know. They
Then
could.
they're going with Drew Barrymore then.
Sure. I mean, if she'd be open to it, I don't know. I don't think a big name would serve this well. I don't think you get a big name for
I think they had to get
for
at
this.
least. I mean, I think the big name in it is Jason. I mean, most of the times, right, when we were all watching Nightmare on Elm Street, Friday the 13th, most of those Friday the 13th movies didn't have um, a big name. Kevin Bacon, right? But that was pre-fame
Yeah,
Kevin
nobody knew
Bacon.
who he was yet. Yeah.
Nobody, Johnny Depp, right? That was a pre-Johnny Depp. I mean, so you have to get somebody, and I think that's how these movies play, right? Even Halloween with Laurie Strode, right? When you had God damn it. What's her face?
Jamie Lee Curtis.
Jamie Lee Curtis.
Bernie says get uh Bernie says get wait, what is it? I don't know why, but the first name that comes to mind is Brittany Snow. I don't know. I like Brittany Snow. I think she's awesome. She's an awesome actress. I don't know if I see her fitting. See, I think somebody, I can't even think of a name right now, but man, like, maybe somebody like a Tilda Swinton, somebody cool like that, that's a character actress that has done this sort of thing, that likes the horror genre, that would be down for something like this.
Jamie Lee Curtis is coming back as Pamela.
No, no. But I think somebody at least 48, 49 around there would be the perfect age. A little bit past middle age to play Pamela. I think that would be great for this character.
Right.
Um, for in terms of Jason stuff, again, I don't think you go the Gotham route or Bates Motel. I don't think you make the audience wait that long. I think season one, you dive into the backstory, remake some of the events of that first movie, and maybe kill off Pamela at the end of season one or two. I
Yeah.
don't like people are waiting for Jason. This isn't like something like a Batman situation where you wait to like season 5 or whatever with Gotham and you see like a little bit of him. Like people want a full-fledged Jason, or Smallville where Superman's like a little blur in the sky. Like you want they understand what fans want and they understand what fans are waiting for, right? So
It's just Jason.
they
Jason.
want Jason. Pamela's cool. The dad would be awesome. Travis, how's it going in here? Monica Potter from Last House on the Left. Saw kind of looks like her. That's a good choice too. Yeah, somebody that is.
She was great in Parenthood, by the way.
Oh, in Parenthood.
Yeah.
Um, I think getting somebody that has been around that isn't a huge name that you think is realistically in the realm of possibility would be perfect for this kind of
Right.
show.
I think like we said, I think you have to go no name with this. I think you have to go like you said, no name actors
Hmm.
and actresses, because the draw and for the series is going to be Jason and Jason only. Like we're all gonna watch this because it's Jason, not because you got I don't know Angelina Jolie to play Pamela Voorhees. You
Be
know,
kind of great, but like it's but I get what you mean. But another thing that is interesting from the Fangoria interview is Brian Fuller mentions every iteration of Jason. To me, that says that they not only want to do human Jason, they want to dive into the supernatural. That's what they want. That's what fans want is supernatural Jason. And I think we'll get all of that in the show. I'm not sure how long this show can go, but I think Stranger Things and shows like that have showed you that you can do almost anything in a small town with supernatural elements and make it work. So I
right,
think we could get copycat killers, things of that sort. But I think season one should be all about Pamela, maybe a little bit of her in season two, but then after that, have it focus on Jason primarily, or at least have him be the central villain.
right.
But I don't know, man. I mean, that's all I got to say on it. Otherwise, we can move on to the next big one because we could probably talk about that for an hour. I
We
think.
could, and we got people here that are willing to talk about it for about an
I know,
hour.
yeah, I know. Listen, I'm excited. This news is awesome. A20, we haven't. I mean, we've mentioned the A24 of it all, but
Right,
I haven't really wrapped my head around like because they're a distributor. They want to help filmmakers and bring something creative to the big screen and small screen, like Euphoria, which is a big hit show for them. But I do wonder, like, what is it for them with Jason, other than yeah, it's cool. We get to fuck around with this great iconic character. There had to have been something in that room, that pitch meeting, that really sold them on let's make Friday the 13th.
I think that at the end of the I think at the end of the series, we're gonna get A24 movie, a Friday the 13th movie done by A24. I think that's what's in it for them. They're gonna have their hand on creating their own Friday the 13th vision.
I think it'd be great if they get somebody. Listen, Ty West created such an authentic slasher in X. If he gets somebody like that, not him, but somebody like that, uh, to do it, that would be cool. But
Your
I think
favorite A24 director, Ari Aster.
Ari Aster, I feel
He
like
doesn't make horror movies.
he would be interesting. He said it himself, man. Uh, okay, so for me, since A24 is involved, this is a series where a girl gives birth to a deformed face autistic child, and it gets really deep and dark. See, that's a great point, man. It can get really deep and dark because I think the movies for their time weren't very there wasn't a lot going on behind the scenes of the writing. I think they just wrote things and they're like, all right, whatever, let's go churn this movie out. Now fans have kind of given it this mythology and the backstory and deeper meaning where you have somebody like Brian Fuller who can come in and go, oh, we can really mess around with this woman who gave birth to somebody who's special needs and what happens when your world is completely stripped from you because a couple of dumbass kids didn't pay attention. We also haven't talked about another thing if this show is a period piece and if it's within canon
Right.
or is this fully remaking the mythology, which I think would be a smart move, but I also would love to see this be a period piece spanning through the 70s and 80s on television form.
And to go with that, that deformed autistic child is that you could have an older Pamela had given birth in her early to mid 40s, which would probably cause the birth defect. So that way, when by the time Jason is 10, she's in her like late 50s, early 60s.
Yeah, that would make sense. And there's a lot of actresses you could go with this. Go with somebody that is streaming is ripe for the actresses that we have now. I mean, you could get the mom from uh Ozarks, somebody like that, just somebody that is just a really great character actress that can sink their teeth into this. I think a big name would take away from what they're trying to go for. If they want to go with somebody slightly uh with a slightly known actress and break the casting mold, Amy Ryan Holly from The Office could be a good choice. I think she could be a good choice too, man. I just looked up Monica Potter and thought she was a Targaryen. I personally love to see a remaster and proper streaming release of the original Friday the 13th TV series. Yes, that would be cool. I actually saw a few episodes years ago of that show. There was this channel, I forgot what it was called on Comcast.
Me TV,
No, it was
the
Crypt.
U.
Was it Crypt TV? I don't know what it was. But they played the Nightmare on Elm Street series and this reruns of both shows. So I years ago, like 10, 15, no, like 15 years ago, I
Oh
want to
wow,
say. Yeah, so it was a while back.
I was a
Um,
child back then.
I was a boy. Chevy Chase is Pamela. Why not? Creighton Duke would ideally have to appear at some point, which would be fascinating to see. Similar to how Cobra Kai went back and developed Mike Barnes and Terry Silver. I'm with you on that. I would love to see him come back. I would love that's a character I feel like you can get away with a big name doing it, or at least a well-known actor, because it is a very interesting character that I think they didn't prioritize or use in the show or the series. I mean, if you bring that character back, which is from a movie that most fans aren't really big on, I think you
Right.
can change the sort of dynamic there. Just like again on Cobra Kai, which takes somebody like Terry Silver and Mike Barnes from the third movie, which everybody hated for years, and you make them cool again, and now everybody loves those characters, right? Like I think
Well,
Cobra Kai could be a good
do
choice.
people very love Terry Silver?
People, I mean, as a villain, people love Terry Silver. I mean, do you not think he's a great villain in the Cobra Kai? I think he's a
Oh,
great. I think
he's a great villain.
oh yeah, that's what I'm saying. He's a great villain. Like I think they've done something. Cobra Kai is a good example of taking things that are so minuscule and making them somewhat relevant and make sense. So I think that can be really cool. Uh, yeah, I think the Duke idea is great, man. I think the Duke idea is really good. Um, John LeMay from the show and Jason Goes to Hell was such a great actor, and it would be nice to get him back. I think bringing that character back would be a great idea. All right, Gabe. We've did 25 minutes on that. I think, or at
And
least.
6 and 9 Mega says they're gonna help. Their AI will help you find a perfect match.
Oh, cool. Nice. Get
All
those
right,
sex.
so we've gotten all our fill from Friday the 13th. Now let's go and move on to Avatar: The Way of Water, which released a new trailer earlier this week. I am on board for Avatar. I did not watch the trailer because I really want to go in not knowing what happened. I watched the first snippet when I went to go see Avatar re-release a couple months ago, so that's the only trailer I've watched. That's the only thing I've seen. I am super stoked for this. I December cannot come soon enough for me.
All right, so I have seen the trailer, and it is pretty awesome. It's pretty spectacular. Jim Cameron is talking a big game. He's talking a lot of shit. He's every press interview. He's like, "Fuck superhero movies. Fuck Marvel movies. Fuck all these big budget films you guys are seeing. My movie's the real deal." It's looking that way for sure. The footage was spectacular. The new trailer looks cool. I like the kids that they're bringing in. Jake Sully's kids that they have in it now as characters. One of them is played by Sigourney Weaver, which I'm not sure how that works, but it's kind of cool, I guess. She's playing a teenager. Um,
Yeah, do you not remember the first one?
well, no, right.
The
I think it's a cool idea. I just don't know the idea of a 70-plus-year-old woman playing a teenager is just kind of funny. Um, But it does tie into the first one, like you said.
right,
And we see some familiar faces. It doesn't reveal too much about the plot, but this is you come to the Avatar movies to see something visually dazzling, and that's what this trailer gives you. That's what this movie is going to give you, and a solid story too. This is a 190-minute film, so it's going to be a very long sit. You gotta dazzle audiences in a way they've never seen before, and I think this movie will do that.
right. You know, James Cameron has built up such, and at least for me with the movies that he's done, right, such goodwill that Avatar is just, I don't know. I think it's going to be. I think right now he's known for Terminator 2 and True Lies, things of that nature, right? But I think at the end of the day, when you write his epitaph, I guess, it's going to be known for Avatar, whether it is a success or these sequels flop. Um, but I am so excited to watch the world that he's created. I'm Like I said, it's it's like all inspiring in a sense when you see it.
No, it looks truly. I mean, the trailer worked for me, and I think when we see this movie, it's really gonna be: is this a true, like, memorable sci-fi saga, or was it a one-hit wonder? Because even with the toys and the technology, you got to deliver a good story, which he always does. Like, I can't think of a movie of his I don't like. I like The Abyss. I like True Lies, Aliens, Terminator 2, like Terminator. So I don't think this is something that he's gonna fumble the bag on. It's gonna be really, really good. I want
Right.
to get to Travis's real quick. I remember Cameron's Comic Con appearance talking about Dark Fate, where he mentions he's making Avatar 2 through 4, and no one in the audience applaud until he gets mad. It's hilarious. He's very passive aggressive, man. He's very passive aggressive about it. Like he loves these movies, and he champions the fact that, like, he's like number one besides Endgame taking that spot. Like it's like he held on to it. But two movies held on to it for a long time.
Right. That's why he keeps on re-releasing Avatar every year, just to get back its money.
But people go see it. I mean, the re-releases for those movies make more than the Endgame re-releases, I feel like.
Yeah.
$30 million, I think we talked about. It was
We
number one
talked. It was 30 million worldwide that first weekend, and then it
for a
made some more the
13-year-old
second weekend.
movie. Come on.
Right.
Crazy. It's crazy stuff. Um okay, so to talk about Friday the 13th still, but yes. Let's not forget the first Terminator. Yeah, you can't, man. It's awesome. It's an awesome movie. But I'm excited for this. The footage looked great. I know they're messing around with frame rates and other little things to make it just more visually popping and feel like you're immersed into the
Listen, it's
world.
IMAX. It's IMAX 3D for me all the way. It's
Um,
IMAX 3D for me.
I'm there. I'm ready. Um, let's jump into the next story. And what was the next story? Okay, I got the next story. No, it's not that. Here we go. Uh, Spirited. we talked about this before. We had little teasers. We had like pictures and then a little teaser. Now we have a full on trailer. This is coming to limited theatrical release as well as Apple TV November 18th. So that's a week before Thanksgiving. Gabe, did you get a chance to check out this trailer?
I did. I did check it out because that's the only time I'll be seeing this movie. You know,
Why is that?
because you come on, you're baiting me to this because you know I don't watch anything on Apple. I don't own anything Apple and never
Hey,
will own anything
I'll tell you,
Apple.
what. Right now, the way it's looking, I would rather have Apple TV than Netflix. I'm pretty sure I'm probably gonna unsubscribe to Netflix very soon with their model that they're talking about. Did you see the little release thing that they have where the price breakdowns and what they're doing?
I did not see that at all.
The standard for Netflix will no longer be 4K. You will have to pay $21 a month for 4K streaming, and that's very limited with access to multiple accounts and stuff. You also will at 720p will now be the standard, right? And that will be ad supported. And then if you want 1080p, it's 15.99 a month, which would make it the most expensive streaming service, even more than HBO Max.
Well, listen, T-Mobile pays my Netflix subscription, so
Oh, so you're good. You're keeping it. I'm probably not. I'll probably
yeah.
just resubscribe for shows like Cobra Kai or Stranger Things, but other than that, fuck that.
Or we could do a watch party, or you could move back to Chicago, and I could just sign into my freaking Netflix account at your place.
No, no dice, man. Uh, but no, I think this trailer looks pretty cool. I think this trailer was fun. This is a story we've seen way too many times. It's Scrooged. It's A Christmas Carol. It's A
It's
Wonderful
the
Life.
Dickens.
It's yeah. They mention it in the trailer. They're aware of it. But I think Will Ferrell's a guy that we haven't seen much greatness from in a very long time in terms of movies. Uh, so I think it can be really cool to see just a really fun comedy with him again, a Christmas comedy. Ryan Reynolds is very charming. I do think sometimes he plays the same character over and over and over again.
It's Ryan Reynolds playing Ryan Reynolds as
And
Ryan Reynolds.
Will Ferrell playing Will Ferrell. So I think them working off each other can be awesome, and I think it can work really well. Octavia Spencer is also in this, so she's great and everything. Everybody loves her and her pies. Um, so I have Apple TV. I think this can be a really fun sort of pre-Thanksgiving watch. I think we're getting a ton of cool little streaming Christmas comedies this year, which is going to be fun. Between this, the Lizzie Lohan one, there's a Vince Vaughn one coming out that I think we just got pictures of. So count me in, man. Count me in.
Yeah,
Uh, what is up, Chad? Man, what is up? Congratulations on the movie, buddy. But yeah, I'm down with it, man. And I know you aren't because you don't have Apple TV.
I don't have Apple TV. Never will. Never will.
That's crazy. Here's a big story. We didn't get a chance to cover this because I was out of town. Uh, at the same wedding you were at. We had fun.
We had fun.
This story broke. I think this story is one of the only good things David Zaslav has done as head of Warner Brothers Discovery. So James Gunn will be one half of the new creative heads at what's being dubbed DC's Studios, which will mean that he won't be so much focused on extended universes and connective tissue, but he will be more focused on finding directors and filmmakers and storytellers to craft just great films. Finding more Matt Reeves and James Gunns and people like that. I think this is a great move. He's almost done with Guardians of the Galaxy. He's wrapping up the third one. He'll be done with that in May. They're never going to make another one. The franchise is done with him. They've already said this is the final chapter of that story with those characters. He did the Suicide Squad. Warner Brothers loves him and the work he did on that movie. I know that movie was released at the wrong time. They put it in the middle of the pandemic on streaming and theater, so it didn't make a ton of money, but Warner Brothers loves working with James Gunn. Peacemaker is a hit. I mean, Peacemaker was a hit show. We're getting season 2. He's working on that. There's talks that maybe he might be involved in the Superman movie. Well, now he is as a producer, obviously. But I think this is a great idea. James Gunn is a guy that has he could do no wrong to me. He's done horror movies, he's done trauma movies, he's done comedies. I love Super, the film that he did years ago before he did Guardians. So I'm all in on this, man. I think this is a good choice. I don't want to say it's like the best choice ever or he's the next Kevin Feige, but I think as of now, this feels like they actually got somebody that can shepherd them into having consistent quality with their films.
Yeah. No, it's a mixed bag for me because I do enjoy him as a director, and I feel like once he's running the studio, he's not going to be able to direct his own stuff and get his own writing out there. The way that his movies are set up, and they have a very specific James Gunn quality to them. Now, as far as what he's able to bring to DC, I think he's going to be able to bring maybe some sort of continuity to whatever it is that DC's been trying to do. I think the Snyderverse is done and over with. I think that they got to really move on from that. Um, but yeah, I think that James Gunn's going to be great for DC. Hopefully, right? They see what's been working, like the solo films, like Shazam, Aquaman, things like that nature. Cut out um, cut out the Rock from Black Adam. Either tell him like either you need to be in this Shazam movie or that's it. Like we ain't trying to get you to fucking fight Superman and bring back Henry Cavill for this shit. Like
Right.
Um. So, but anyways, yeah, James Gunn's gonna be fucking great.
I think he'll be great, man. And I think well let's see what everybody's thinking here. I mean, Bernie thinks Jimmy Gunn is Kevin Feige. I'm in. Peacemaker song. Great song. Great opening theme. Uh One thing I realized is James Gunn hates Jared Leto, so I'm not sure how that Joker will be used moving
Fuck
forward.
James Gunn. Then
I think if Zack came back, it would happen, but it's a bizarre issue. Yeah, James Gunn and Zack Snyder are like really good friends. They worked on Dawn of the Dead together.
right.
And I know what a couple of things James Gunn talked to Zack Snyder when he came to working on his universe stuff in terms of actors and whatnot. I don't know. I think they didn't have a plan then. David Ayer kind of did his own thing with those movies and hiring Jared Leto. I know Zack Snyder used him, but I don't know. I don't think you should use that Joker. That's I
You should.
personally
I want
it's
that Joker movie.
it's the worst interpretation of the
It's
Joker
not.
I've
It's
ever seen.
one of the best Jokers.
It's 100% one of the
It's
worst.
like top 3 Jokers of all time.
I don't even. I'm not going to even answer. Like I know he's trying to bait me, but like it's legit one of the worst adaptations of that character like I've ever seen, and it's fucking terrible. I don't think Jared Leto knew what he was doing, but I
I
mean,
think
hey,
that I think there's like a whole like Jared Leto Joker, like 30 minutes of him on the cutting room floor, as opposed to like the fucking 5 minutes he got.
and
Like
I bet
I don't think this motherfucker created a whole entire Joker character, right, in Jared Leto and went through with all the fucking shit that he did to only be in a movie for like fucking 10 minutes.
of course, and I bet there's a ton of stuff on the cutting room floor, but I don't think for 1 second that it's like apparently the most amazing performance in the world, but we just haven't seen it. I don't buy that because I just don't think it's a good performance, and I don't think he was the right choice for
You're
that
just not
character.
ready for it's people aren't just ready for a fucking gangster Joker. I'm sorry, but that's what Joker was. He was a fucking gangster. Everybody thinks of the Joker as this fucking Jack Nicholson Italian mafia type of fucking gangster, but the Joker could be a fucking gangbanger from the fucking south side of Chicago. Like
No,
you
he
don't gotta
can't.
be Italian fucking mafia. Just because
It
you're Italian, you're looking for a fucking Italian mafia Joker. Hey, I'm
listen. I
Mexican.
to
I'm
me
looking for
the
fucking Latin King, mob boss, fucking throw up the fucking crowns Joker.
as somebody that has read way too much Batman for their own good, Jared Leto is probably the worst interpretation of that character.
No.
That's it. And the gangster Cholo
Look,
Joker, whatever the
Travis
fuck
says
it was,
Travis
not
loves a
it.
portrayal of that Joker. So I'm not the only one.
I'm not saying you're the only one. I just don't like that portrayal. I think the only thing that they've pointed to in terms of what their inspiration was with that version of the Joker is all-star Batman and Robin. That's really it. I don't know. I just don't dig that performance. And I don't dig Jared Leto in that role, especially in that unnecessary post-credit scene in an already bloated 4-hour movie, which was good, a good film and a solid sort of extended cut of his story. We did not need that Jared Leto scene. We did not need that. We didn't need that.
Right.
Not at all.
So one thing I do want to make a note of, because I made fun of The Rock a little bit earlier ago, is that one of the reasons why The Rock wasn't in Shazam is because he feels like he was bigger, or Black Adam was bigger than Shazam, right? And so he went over, at the time, the director, I forget who directed Shazam, and I think he went straight to the bosses at Warner Brothers and said, I don't want to be in Shazam. I don't want that post credit scene. Do you remember there was a post credit scene in Shazam where like the
Mhm.
family is sitting around in the throne and they look over and they're like, oh, one is missing, right?
Right,
They have deleted that after credit scene from all Shazam movies, basically.
right.
So I don't think The Rock is gonna love James Gunn, because I believe he went over James Gunn's head, or somebody's head, to get that, and they're like friends with James Gunn in some way or somehow. So I don't
Well,
know if we're gonna get The Rock and
Dwayne
you know
Johnson won over Walter Hamada's head. That's why one of the reasons Walter Hamada quit is the disorganization of what he was trying to do with DC, which was filmmaker driven projects, which is kind of what they're going to do with James Gunn anyway, just filmmaker driven projects. But one of the things in the Hollywood Reporter that was reported was that Dwayne Johnson went behind Walter Hamada's back to get the Superman cameo, which he was told he could not get. And he went straight to the higher ups and demanded it. They were able to put that together in, I think, the final week of September.
right.
So literally 2 weeks before the movie came out, they were able to get that in. So I don't think Black Adam's a good movie. I thought it was pretty bad and a pretty bad representation of comic book films, but it's a big hit and other people love it. I mean, I feel like fans adore it. So I think The Rock is here to stay, and he's an international superstar. His movies do insanely well overseas, like Skyscraper, which bombed here but made like a boatload of money in like China, or
Rampage.
like Hobbs and Shaw, which was fine and did decently here, but made way more money overseas.
He
The
tore the
Rock,
family apart for Hobbs and Shaw.
he did tear the family apart, but I think he has big international plays. I think Warner Brothers won't ignore that. It's like Aquaman did decently here, but made like $1 billion around the globe. So who knows? I don't know what else this can mean, but I love James Gunn. Uh, if that means that he directs a movie here or there in his new leadership position, I think that can
He's
be great.
he's gonna be like Ari Gold as a studio head. You know what I mean? Like he's just gonna he's like Ari. He's gonna be like Ari Gold,
I'll
basically
take
running
it.
the studio.
Speaking of DC, this is a show that so I've been excited for these the Batman shows, but like part of me goes, they're probably not gonna happen. They're probably not gonna happen because the way Warner Brothers is. But it looks like these shows are happening. David Zaslav liked the movie enough to greenlight all of them. So, one story that I didn't add just because we had so much to talk about, Arkham, that's moving forward, and that's going to come from the director of The Devil All the Time, which is one of my favorite movies of 2020 that I feel like everybody did not like, but I loved it. I thought it was such a cool film. He's doing the Arkham show, and we also have the Penguin show coming out, and this is a little bit of mythology from the Batman comics that I was hoping we'd get in the films, and we finally are. And that is the Falcone children. Kristen Milioti from How I Met Your Mother. She also had Palm Springs recently, which was a really cool film, and she was in The Wolf of Wall Street. She's gonna be playing opposite
Teresa.
Colin Farrell. Yes. Uh, and this is a limited series. So I figured there's no way you can afford Colin Farrell every single week for years on end to do this. And I'm guessing this will be a great little side story that will just enrichen the Batman too. But she will play the Roman's daughter, his actual daughter, not like his illegitimate one, Catwoman. So this is a pretty big story in the comic books. It plays big in the Long Halloween and Dark Victory. What this show will be is pretty much the power grab, that struggle between Ozzy and Sophia, uh, just fighting over that mob boss position. And I think that's gonna be great. We have 2 actors here that one, she's well known for comedies, so she's gonna sink her teeth into a role that's very dark. I don't know how they're gonna change it for the show and the movies, but that character is a very dark and vicious character who is just as gruesome, if not more gruesome and powerful than her father. So, I'm excited for this. They apparently this show is starting to film, like, next month or the month after, something like that. But, man, I just love the choices they make with these movies. It's just out of the box choices. I like her as an actress. Palm Springs was a fun movie. I think she'll do great in this.
Yeah, I think should do fine in it. I listen. I love the Batman, as you know, but I'm not the type of person that feels like I need a whole world building series behind it. I think I think he was a great Batman, a decent Batman. He was no Batfleck, but like
I feel like you just say these things and hoping that I'm just gonna like take the bait. But like I can't even argue that people like the Ben Affleck Batman. I love Ben Affleck. I just don't. That wasn't Batman. But that's an argument I'll save for you know
no, but
2015.
I listen. Am I gonna watch it? Yeah, I'm gonna watch it. But do I truly need a world building stuff? I like Batman enough to where I like the main character. I've never. I'm not gonna sit here and tell you I've read like you have. The run of Frank Miller's Batman or
Right.
fucking whoever's Batman. I never did that. Like Batman never like his side characters as far as like his villains are concerned. I've the Riddler, Joker, Penguin, Bane, those are, Poison Ivy, Harley Quinn, stuff like that, right? But like the children of mob bosses and yada yada, like I don't know none of that world. I never read that, so this doesn't really interest me as much because I'm not into a big old world building of like mafia bosses, like daughters and kids. I don't know. I'm just not.
In other news, Gabe is the biggest hypocrite of all time because his favorite movie is a gangster movie. So I'm just gonna flat out ignore everything he just
What do you
said.
mean my favorite movie is a gangster
He's
movie?
doing this to get under my skin. Blood in, blood out, and Carlito's Way, and Scarface, and all of a sudden he doesn't like gangster lore.
I
He only
never
likes
said.
it
I
if you're
never said.
Latino.
Hold on, hold on. I never said I don't like gangster lore. Do not put words in my
He
mouth.
doesn't
What I
like it because
said.
one of the characters wears a cape, who's not going to even be in the show anyway. It's just going to be about the Penguin, and who's been established as a grounded mob boss already. But Gabe suddenly has no interest. So I take this as trolling. I'm calling him
I,
out as trolling. That's it. I'm. Hold on, let me take this comment real quick. It's getting ridiculous how many comic book post credit scenes are a character coming, yes, up to a main character and saying we should talk. We saw that in Morbius and Eternals. I fucking hate this. I I fucking hate this with a passion. I hate this type of post credit scene. It was cool in 2008 when Sam Jackson did it, and we never thought the Marvel universe could exist. It was awesome. When Morbius did it, I literally screamed at the screen. Uh, when Black Adam did it and people were clapping, I didn't like it. What the fuck does Superman have to say to Black Adam? Why does he care? So I'm with you. I fucking hate those post credit scenes. I'm honestly kind of tired of the world building, universe building of we need to talk, team up movie things. I don't like it anymore. And like that, it's so cheap and lazy. Anyway, Gabe, go ahead. After I was trolling you.
no, that's it. That's it. Like I said, I'm just not into the Batman lore. I'm not into the Batman side character villains, and that's what I think these gangsters are. Not the Penguin. He's a major, obviously major villain. I'm just saying, like the fucking mob bosses' kids. Like I don't need that.
I think the show changed it. I think when the show comes out, Gabe's gonna be like, "Oh, it's a great show. It's a great show on HBO right now. Guarantee you. Take it to
That's
the
right.
bank on that one."
I'll fucking eat crow. I'll fucking eat crow. I've always said this.
Well,
I've been
he might
I've
do
been
one
the
or two
first one.
things.
Listen, I've always said, right? When I'm wrong, and I go on this show and be like, you know what? I was wrong. Did I not do that with fucking Terrifier 2? Did I not
Bullshit though,
say?
because Once Upon a Time in Hollywood came out and Gabe saw it like 3 times in theaters. but kept telling people he hated the movie. So don't believe him. Don't
Because
believe him,
I was
folks.
just fucking around with you because of how much you fucking love that movie. Like you came out and said this is the fucking greatest masterpiece I've ever fucking
I did
seen.
not say that. I said it's my favorite Tarantino movie, though.
It's all the same shit.
Uh-huh. All right. I'll take Travis's comment. As we go into the more 90s nostalgia era, I think DC should bring back Azrael. Yeah, that would be cool, man. I think for this universe, he would make a lot of sense. I think he would make that whole No Man's Land storyline would make sense here. Especially with the way things ended up at the end of the first movie. Um, According to an interview with one of the editors, the Morbius scene was supposed to have them see a fire in the distance, both flying towards the helmet. Random, but it's yeah. I fucking I don't. Why did Michael Keaton do that scene? I feel so bad
Listen,
for the guy that he's stuck doing these fucking post credit scenes and
for fucking
characters
shit
that
that's never gonna happen.
there's shit that's not going to happen. Apparently, he's going to randomly team up with Morbius or come out in the Flash, which will probably be cut from at this point anyway. Um, I don't know. We got one more story, and then we have
A
the
free for all.
new releases. One more story. All right, so we I mean we're gonna keep. It's funny because we keep talking about superhero things. Uh, Wonder Man. This is a series I'm excited for because I like this character. Uh, Yahya Abdul Mateen, who played Candyman. He was in the Michael Bay film that just came out that I really enjoyed. That I'm blanking on
Ambulance
Ambulance, which was awesome. That movie, I had a fun time with that.
and Stingray and Aquaman.
Yes, he was in Aquaman.
Manta Ray, my bad.
Black Manta.
Black Manta, whatever.
He was. What did you call him? What you
I called
Stingray?
him Stingray, and then that's from fucking Cobra Kai. Then I went for fucking Manta Ray. I don't
Well,
know
it,
what
it looks like he's starring in this series, which will be a comedy. And playing his manager will be none other than Bob Odenkirk, which I think is spot on casting. I think it's funny if he ends up taking this role. Gabe, you don't know much about Wonder Man,
I don't.
but seeing these two being cast in the show, does it pique your interest at all? This is
No.
going to be a comedy about a actor who has superpowers. It's a satire on Hollywood, as well as he does in the comic books. He joins the Avengers at some point. And
It's like what?
he
Like
is
Marvel's answer to like the boys.
not so much, not so much that, but I think it will make fun of the ideas of superheroism and uh, what that all means.
I don't know. No, maybe I don't know. I'll watch it. I don't think I like Bob Dirk, whatever the fuck
What
his
about
name is.
Stingray? You like Stingray? No, I think this is one of those shows that I think for a lot of people like you who don't know much about the character, uh, it's like a wait and see. I think that trailer is going to be make or break for the show, but it seems like they're getting the right talent involved. They know it's a tough sell. Nobody really knows that character. Nobody knows Wonder Man. Like that's just it is what it is. Like
Right.
he was. I remember reading issues of him, back issues from the '90s, and I doubt like even then he was popular. So like this is a character that I know comic book fans know and think is really cool. There is a deleted scene from Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2 where Nathan Fillion plays the role. So, Marvel has been, they've been hinting at this for some time, but
So
we'll
did
see.
Marvel change Wonder Man's color from white to black, or
Pretty,
from
pretty
black to
much.
white?
Well, now I guess now he's going to be black with
Okay.
Yaya playing him. So yeah, I guess they are, swapping it there. But he's such a character, and people don't know much about. I don't see how anybody would complain. But I guess it's the internet. People try
It's the internet. People are gonna complain, and then when people
um,
complain, I'm gonna love it because I'm gonna go against the grain because I'm a contrarian.
You are a contrarian. He's a fucking contrarian. He does it on purpose. He says he has hot
Sometimes
takes
I
and
do.
he hates things. I hate this. And it's like Krispy Kreme donuts. I hate this, but it's like he doesn't even know
Dunkin'
why he hates
Donuts
it.
are better, but as
Oh
a fat
no.
man, I will eat any type of donut. You put a fucking
Dude,
donut in front of me, I'm gonna eat it.
Krispy Kreme donuts fresh is 20 times better than Dunkin' Donuts cold ass, dry ass donuts, which I'll eat out of necessity. but they are not better than Krispy Kreme. See, I told you, even when he tries not to be a contrarian, he's going to be a contrarian. He can't help himself. It's whatever the person likes. Let me go that way.
I'm
It's
sorry, the
true.
Dunkin' Donuts has a better variety though.
Yeah, they have better variety, but it tastes like shit.
It tastes
Uh,
good.
no, it's serviceable. I do hope they're setting up a good Sinister Six or a spectacular Six Madam Web sending Vulture to recruit other characters. See, that could be cool. And I think you're giving Sony too much credit, man. You have great ideas. I doubt that's what Sony's doing. I would love to see a proper Sinister Six. Yeah, I think I think the boat has sailed on that one. I
I
think
think
next time
Hollywood should tap into Travis over here and be like,
I
"Yo,
know he's coming up
what
with
should you do?"
all these ideas all night, man. All right, so
Walmart donuts are identical to Dunkin'. I've never tried Walmart donuts, but now I want to try Walnut donuts.
I've
Walmart
tried the
donuts.
Walmart donuts. I've tried them.
How are they?
They're not bad. In terms of, I think 7-Eleven donuts aren't bad if you catch them on a good day. There's one donut place. Okay, so Quick Trip, the gas station, their donuts are really good. At night, they're like 50 cents or something like that, and they're like gigantic. They're
You're
huge.
ripping at me for eating the Quick Trips chicken, but you eat their donuts?
I never ripped on the chicken. I never even tried the chicken.
I
He
talked
just
about
tried to
yes.
he tried to create an altercation right now, but I love Quick Trip. I get their frozen coffee at night, their donuts, everything's half off at night after 11. All right, let's do the new releases. These are movies that maybe Gabe has probably never heard of. Have you heard of these movies, Gabe?
Absolutely none of these have I heard. Maybe Armageddon Time. I've seen previews for it. Is that the white and the black kid, and then they're Jewish, and he's like fucking Anthony Hopkins, like, oh well, there was a time where we were being killed off, and we didn't say nothing, and you gotta stand up for the black kid in the hood.
Right. So,
Okay, cool.
okay,
That's
so
the one I heard of.
we're entering Oscar season, obviously, award season. These pretty much this weekend is just a good release window for smaller movies. Armageddon Time is going wide. It came out last week, but it's going wide this week. It is about a young Jewish boy and black boy who get caught up smoking weed in a boy's bathroom, and one of the Jewish boy has to go to this
Prep school.
prestigious like boarding school run by Donald Trump's sister. Uh, and in the meantime, it's about race relations and stuff. And Anthony Hopkins plays his grandfather. It looks really interesting, and I've heard really good word of mouth, and the trailers were captivating too. So I know that's going wide this weekend. The Banshees of Iteration is with Colin Farrell, and it's from the director of Three Billboards Outside Ebbing, Missouri,
Okay.
and Seven Psychopaths. And it is about Colin Farrell plays this guy on this Irish island. He's got this best friend played by Brendan Gleeson, who one day tells him, "I don't want to be your friend anymore."
Interesting.
And the whole movie is about him trying to. It's a comedy about him trying to rekindle his friendship with him. That's all I know about it. But I've heard from a ton of people. It's like possibly top 10 of the year, top 5 of the year. I've heard a ton of awards talks for both of them. And then Decision to Leave, it seems like it's gearing up to be this year's sort of Parasite from the word of mouth I'm hearing. Uh, a lot of people think this has a lot of crossover potential in the Oscar race from Park Chan Wook, who has done a ton of amazing movies. And this is about a detective he investigates a possible murder, suicide, and falls in love with the victim's wife.
Ooh.
And so it's a erotic thriller noir. So they all sound interesting. These are all very different original
Right.
movies of various degrees that are all wide this weekend. No big sort of
No.
action movie releases.
So this is an Oscar bait weekend.
This is an Oscar bait weekend. It looks like maybe next week, I think too, and I think Thanksgiving as well. We
What are you
have
talking about next week? Next week is fucking Black Panther, Wakanda
I think
Forever.
other things go by too though with Black Panther. I'm trying to think.
Sorry, Black Panther is just gonna fucking. I mean, I could,
Well, yeah,
guys.
that's
Guys, I'm just gonna say this right now, right? Next week's #1 movie. Well, not next week, but 2 weeks from now, we're talking about Black Panther #1 at the box office.
yeah, the Black Panther will be number one. I don't know. I've seen this conversation of will it hit $1 billion? It's gonna hit $1 billion. I think because The past
Okay,
few films haven't. People
I know
are
we're at
starting
the
to think
hour
about that.
mark. I know we're at the hour mark, and I know you're trying to close up soon here and wrap it up.
Right.
But real quick, with Black Panther, you have the blacks versus the Mexicans, and that's gonna draw both the black community and the Hispanic community. And I'm not even saying that as a joke. I'm like, or being like whatever. I'm not even saying that like as a bad thing. But if you boil down the movie to express taxes, that's what it is. Is you have
Well,
Africans,
the representation is gonna
the
get people
representation
are
of,
seeing
of
Namor like they've never seen him before. Namor
right.
was not of Hispanic descent in the comic books. They've made him for the movie that way, and
For the movie that way. So for the movie, you're gonna have Browns versus the blacks, and who's gonna go out to see this? The Browns and the blacks, and then the white people are gonna be go to see the fucking enjoyments of watching brown and black people fight on the fucking big screen. It's gonna be
sure,
everybody's gonna fucking go.
everybody's
It's a fucking racial fucking cauldron going on here. It's a fucking racial brew going on, and everybody's gonna be drinking it.
it's true. And the one thing I will say is Ryan Coogler manages to, even if he plays in the Marvel wheelhouse, he does different things with his storytelling that doesn't feel cookie cutter. Like, and maybe the special effects do and the big sort of action sequences, but when it
Right,
comes down to the story and the mythology that he plays with, it's about grief and trauma and family and loss and like those are all present in all of his movies from Fruitvale Station to Creed, but it's especially present in Black Panther, and now we'll see in Black Panther 2. We even from the Rihanna song that just dropped for the movie. I'm excited for this movie. I've heard tons of great things. From what I've heard so far is just they've knocked it out the park, and I think we could use that after Thor being okay, somewhat
right.
forgettable, and Doctor Strange not going over so well with everybody. I think it's time to get a movie that just everybody is on board with.
Their Phase 4 hasn't been the fucking greatest, so
It hasn't. I think they know that. I think the pandemic has a lot to do with that, rushing their animators, their writers, rewrites, all those. Even the TV shows, like Kevin Feige came out and said he feels he's been spread too thin, and there is no other Kevin Feige. It's only Kevin Feige. That's it.
right.
Um, but I think this. I'm with you. I think this movie's gonna kill. I think you got to be crazy not to think this is gonna cross a billion. The loss of Chadwick and the I mean, think about Fast 7 when that came out and the loss of Paul Walker, what it did for that movie. It'll what movies that have loss, people want to go and they want to experience that emotion with other
It's a
people.
communal,
It's a
it's a
communal.
communal, emotion that people want to
They
experience.
want to experience that.
Especially
Yeah,
something with like Chadwick Boseman, who just out of nowhere, right? Like he died. Like what the fuck? He had cancer for like the past 2 years. Like oh shit.
and
Okay,
nobody knew. Yeah,
nobody
like
knew.
that's. But we're getting
Motherfuckers
this
out there
movie.
fucking recording, still making movies for fucking 2 years, and then it was like, oh, suddenly he passed away. I'm like, oh shit.
Yeah, it's like completely out of nowhere. Um. Oh, the David Harbour Santa Claus. Yes, Violent
Seasons
Night.
beans.
Oh, dude, that trailer, so good. I'm a yellow person, so until Shang-Chi 2, I'm screwed.
No,
Yeah,
no. You know
which is
what?
coming, which is
As a
coming.
yellow person, we'll let you in into the brown community because you guys are sort of similar to like us.
Um, yeah, but no, I think this movie's gonna kill, and I am excited. I'm gonna have reviews out for the smaller movies this weekend. I'm gonna see. Hey Connor, how's it going, man? Great episode earlier, Van Helsing. I was gonna tell you that I listened to it on the drive, and that's a movie I have fond memories of
The
as a
Hugh
kid.
Jackman
The Hugh Jackman one, they covered it on their show.
with
Yeah.
Kate
Kate
Beckinsale.
Beckinsale. Yeah, yeah, she's the love
Yeah,
interest in that.
yeah.
Yeah,
I
that's
love fucking Kate Beckinsale in vampire movies.
I haven't seen that movie in like forever, but as a kid, I remember really digging it. And me and
Oh, I bet
my
you dug
cousin
it.
played the video game too. So I know that movie's like a huge flop, but we enjoyed it. Uh, okay, but yeah, I will have reviews out for the smaller movies. I think we're gonna see the Banshees. I think tomorrow or Sunday, and I'm gonna see Decision to Leave as well. If I have time, I'll probably go see Armageddon time. Just
I'll go
because
see Armageddon. You review the Banshee. I'll review Armageddon, and we'll
perfect.
fucking call it a day.
Perfect. Maybe we'll do a show where we see all the small movies and we just do one big show where we just talk about them. That could be kind of cool.
And then we have zero viewers. It'd be like double
That would
zeros.
gain more viewers
It'll
than
gain
us
no
talking
viewers.
about. Oh, and I'm sorry, we'll gain viewers, Gabe. Talking about
Dude,
Leprechaun in the Hood and CB4, which was fucking this guy's idea. Nobody fucking watched that episode, motherfucker.
nobody did watch the CB4 episode. Nobody did.
But no,
Leprechaun in the Hood was your idea, by the way.
God damn it, but we paired it. Listen, nobody watched that episode, all right? It's just there. Or the last episode we did, which was actually pretty cool. Nobody watched it. We're falling off here. But no,
But you
I'm
want to
gonna
do a
have.
small movie episode here?
Well, those are movies that are being talked about right now for
By
Oscars.
who?
I think by people that aren't you, that just don't fucking watch Transformers movies and collect toys, man.
Fucking
Intellectuals.
Transformers are fucking masterpieces, bro. Fucking
um,
Optimus Prime riding in it on Grimlock, fucking shedding a tear in that fucking movie theater.
a friend with weed is a friend indeed. God, that movie it's entertaining, but it's shitty. It's very shitty. But I will have at least shorts reviews for
Yeah, of
two
course.
of them. Uh, but yeah, well, I'm interested in all three of those. And if Gabe sees Armageddon Time, I'll throw his little short reaction up on the channel. But I think it could be cool because there's stuff out this week and it's just smaller releases. And then next week, I think me and him. I mean, if you want to do a spoiler talk for Black Panther, maybe we could do that Sunday. 'Cause I know
We
me
can
and
do
you are
that
both
Sunday.
interested.
Yeah, absolutely. Next Sunday after the Bears game.
There we go. So we have that. If you haven't already, hit that like button. It helps us out with the algorithm. And Gabe, do you have anything else you'd like to add before we head out of here?
No. Everybody enjoy their weekend. We'll have a great weekend. See some movies. Let us know what you think of what said movies on our social medias, Twitter,
Yeah.
Instagram, Letterbox, what have yous. And then we'll catch you guys on the next Tuesday or Thursday show, or both
Oh yeah.
shows. Come see us on both shows.
See us at both shows. And we will see you guys soon. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe, share. Go see one of those movies this weekend. They all look pretty interesting, pretty cool. And we will see you next time.